If you want to control diabetes, how much carbs should you use? As mentioned, carbohydrates are one of the body's main sources of energy. Accordingly, the need for this nutrient also varies depending on the patient's age, gender, physical activity, lifestyle, and medications. The American Diabetes Association, ADA, recommends that people with diabetes get about 45% of their calories from carbohydrates. A standard carb serving is defined as about 15 grams per serving. This means that women with diabetes will need between 3 to 4 standard servings, 45 to 60 grams of carbs, while most men need about 4 to 5 standard servings, 60 to 75 grams of carbs. Because there's no one-size-fits-all carb intake for everyone, it's important to consult with your doctor or dietitian to find the right carb intake for you. The best starting point is about 45 to 60 grams of carbohydrates with each meal. The importance of counting carbohydrates in the diet. Once the patient has determined their actual carb needs, the next thing to do is to calculate the amount of this nutrient in the diet. This is very important in controlling diabetes, such as good management of food intake and glycemic index, giving you more flexibility when planning your meals, ensure good health for patients, improve quality of life, prevent or minimize the complications of diabetes such as cardiovascular disease, stroke, nerve damage, or even lower extremity amputation. Tell you how to estimate the amount of carbohydrates in the diet. The key to managing type 2 diabetes is to consume carbs in limited amounts with each meal and snack. Accordingly, you can apply a few basic ways below to manage your carb consumption. 1. Calculation based on food labels. Diabetes control. Carb counting is pretty easy with packaged foods labeled nutrition facts. Based on the information printed on the food label, you can know how many carbs the dish you will be eating contains. From there, you will make a decision to adjust your diet accordingly and control your diabetes well. When reading food labels, the two most important factors that you need to pay attention to are portion size and carb intake. The two factors are directly proportional. If you take a double or triple serving of the usual, the resulting carb count will also multiply 2 to 3 times the number on the label. Conversely, when you know the amount of carbs, you will come up with a serving size that is right for you. In case if the patient is trying to lose weight, another indicator to consider on the label is the calorie count. People with high blood pressure and heart disease should avoid choosing foods high in sodium and saturated fats and trans fats. Fruit juices and alcoholic beverages, such as beer, are high in carbs. Therefore, you should also count carbs when consuming these drinks. 2. Based on serving size. This calculation applies to foods that do not have a nutrition label. As we all know, carbohydrates include sugar, starch, and fiber found in fruits, grains, vegetables, and dairy products. There are also 2 types of carbs, good carbs and bad carbs. Accordingly, to control type 2 diabetes, patients should choose a good carb supplement because this carb contains low to moderate calories, rich in nutrients, no sugar, low in saturated fat, and has natural fiber content. Naturally high. This type of carb is abundant in the following foods. Vegetables. Whole fruits like apples, bananas, strawberries. Legumes include peas, lentils, kidney beans, black beans. Nuts, almonds, walnuts, peanuts, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds. Whole grains should choose brown rice, corn, oats, quinoa. The amount of carbs will vary depending on the portion size and the type of food you choose. To make it easier to visualize, Hello Baxi shares a few examples of the amount of carbs found in some familiar foods as follows. 1/2 banana contains about 15 grams of carbs. The same number is when you eat a slice of bread, 2 to 3 medium crackers, 1/3 cup of steamed rice or quinoa, 250 ml of soy milk or low-fat milk. 1 cup of yogurt contains 40 grams of carbs. 2 tablespoons of sugar-free syrup provides 4 grams of carbs. 3/4 cup of cereal has about 28 grams of carbs. 2 cupcakes will contain 22 grams of carbs. In general, 1 serving of starches, fruit, or milk will contain about 15 grams of carbohydrates. This same amount of carbs is also present in 3 servings of greens. The relationship between carbs and calories needed for people with type 2 diabetes. Patients with type 2 diabetes are often recommended to follow a diet containing about 1,500 to 1,800 calories per day to maintain ideal body weight. However, just like carbs, calories will vary depending on many different factors. For obese people, they need to eat a large amount of calories at first until their weight is more stable. Because of their large muscle mass, men need more calories than women. In general, carbs should account for 45 to 50% of your daily calorie intake. Consuming more carbs will cause blood sugar to rise higher. Theoretically, each gram of carb should provide 4 calories. A person with diabetes on a 1,600 calorie a day diet will have 50% of the calories coming from carbs. Accordingly, there will be a total of 800 calories provided by carb. From this number it can be inferred that the amount of carbs this person needs to supplement during the day falls to about 200 grams/day. Some carb-rich foods you should avoid. Diabetes control. In addition to calculating and choosing to use good carbs, a few foods that will cause high blood sugar you need to avoid or only consume in moderation, such as bread, muffins, pasta, white rice, corn, sweet potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, taro, potatoes. Most fruits except berries. Cookies, ice cream, and sweets, generally. Juice, soda, sugary soft drinks. You need to understand that not all of these foods are unhealthy. For example, fruits are rich in vitamins and minerals, but they are not good for blood sugar control. Hope the above useful information will help you in controlling diabetes effectively. In addition to diet management, you should pay more attention to the exercise regimen, adhere to the correct medication use as directed to stabilize blood sugar.